just anything that allows you to start to feel really grounded and connected to your yoga mat, right? Like this is your time for yourself. So take any little extra, movements, a little bit of care, okay? And arrive in a position that you want to stay in for a little bit. Again, remember you can choose to stay seated as well, okay? So I'm going to plant my feet, have my knees point up towards the sky. And I'm gently just going to slide my shoulder blades under my back. So I'm really thinking about opening up my chest, even though this isn't, like the biggest chest opener. I'm going to make it be about my chest, okay? And then I'm going to place either hands on the ribs or one hand on the heart and one hand on the navel. And we'll just focus on our breath for these few first moments together, okay? So inhaling in through your nose. Take a big exhale out through your mouth. Inhaling in through your nose. Big exhale out through your mouth. Good. Inhaling in. Big exhale out through your mouth. Let's just do a few more. Just inhaling in through our nose and exhaling out through our mouth. Okay, great. Then we're going to just make a little progression out of this. So we're going to inhale in through our nose. We're going to exhale out through our mouth. And then about halfway through our exhale, we'll seal our lips and we'll finish the exhale out through our nose. Okay, so it's just like a little baby ujjayi breath. Okay, so inhale in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. Seal the lips. Finish your exhale out through the mouth, or through the nose, excuse me. Inhaling in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth, and then about halfway, seal the lips. Finish your exhale out through the nose. There we go. Inhaling in. Exhale out through the mouth. Halfway through, seal the lips. Finish your exhale out through your nose. Okay. Do about 4 more rounds just like that. Okay, good. And then continue in this way if that feels good to you and you feel like you have a really good rhythm. Okay, or on this next round, you'll inhale in through your nose. Seal your lips and exhale out through your nose, working on your ujjayi breath. Okay, so we start to create a little bit of vibration almost through the back of the throat. It sounds like, you're cleaning your glasses, fogging up a mirror. Okay, and again, it doesn't have to be loud. It can be really quiet when you find this vibration out through your nose. Right, the louder we are doesn't necessarily mean that we're breathing the best way or the strongest breath, right? It can be really quiet, it can be really subtle, and it's really for yourself just to remind you to breathe. It can be a guidance to allow you to stay present on your mat, remembering that in our yoga practice, our breath always comes first, right? And then we're practicing like the physical postures, right? We're not perfecting them. So again, that breath reminds us to move in a way that feels good to us, move in a way that feels right. And by right, it's really moving in a way that your body is asking you to move. That's the correct way to move, right? Not in a way that we think the pose is supposed to look like. We're just going off pure sensation. Okay, so a few more rounds of ujjayi breath, just like this, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the nose. But of course, at any point you feel constricted, always exhale out through the mouth. Okay, and if you are seated, slowly just start to join us onto the ground really quickly here, okay? And we'll slowly stretch our legs out nice and long under the mat. We'll stretch our arms up over our head, just giving ourselves a nice big stretch. You can let your ribs open up, arch your back. Okay, and then allow your legs to be about as wide as your mat. Okay, so they're like in a little X or V position here with the legs. Okay, and we'll take the right leg, we'll cross it up and over the left. Okay, keeping the hips squared to the ceiling. We'll pick our shoulders up and lean over to the left. Okay, so you can lean really small by not moving at all, and that might be a big enough stretch for you. I like to really lift up and lean completely over to the left side. So I'm really making like that banana asana shape, like I would if I was standing. So see if you can energetically press just very smallly through the balls of your feet so that you get a little bit of this energizing sensation, and you might get a little bit deeper stretch through the right side body. Good. Energetically thinking about your fingertips stretching out. So we find a little bit of that resistance in the stretch. Good, stay for the inhale, and then exhaling gently unwind your legs. Come back to the center and we'll switch sides. So left leg, left ankle crosses over the right. Okay, we're gonna lean over to the right side. So again, picking up the shoulders, leaning over, and then again, just really small, it's really small energy, but just think about energizing the balls of your feet, maybe your toe tips, and then your fingertips, and you may find a little bit extra stretch to the left side body. Good. Try to keep flat to the ground, flat to the ceiling. Okay, so we're not rolling onto our side, we're really staying flat on our back here. Good. Good. Stay for the inhale. Exhaling gently, unwinding, coming back to the center. Good. Re-stretching your arms back up over your head. Gently hugging your knees into your chest, giving yourself a nice big hug, rocking from side to side. Good. And keeping your knees together, we'll circle the knees a few times in one direction, about 3 or 4 times. And then slowly reversing the circles 3 or 4 times in the opposite direction. Right, and then we'll take our knees and we'll separate them, making little egg beaters with our legs, circling our legs in opposition here. Again, about 3 or 4 times. Good, and then we'll reverse the circles. And again, we're really thinking about this, like massaging our hip sockets, okay, our low back and our sacrum. Good. Okay, great. And then feet plant back down onto the mat. Have your feet again about as wide as your mat. Arms can move into cactus arms, and we'll gently just shift our knees and hips from side to side, little window wipers here. And again, these can be small, they can be big. Okay, good. And the next time your knees are over to the left, just pause for a moment. Try not to change your feet to stack your knees. Let your knees stay nice and open so you're in a little stag. You can look to the right. Good. Just breathe. Good. Stay for the inhale. Exhaling, slowly come back up and switching sides. Knees to the right. Focus to the left. Good. Knees point back up towards the sky. Slowly walk your feet underneath you so they're about hip distance now. And then we'll take our right ankle and cross it up and over our left knee. Okay, we'll energetically press this right leg away. And for a moment, before we move into figure 4 glute stretch, let's just do about 5 ankle circles here in one direction. Good, and then reverse the circle with your right foot about 5 times in the opposite direction. Good, and on your last one, we'll let your foot relax and we'll slowly just interlace the hands around the left hamstring, okay? And again, your choice. Today I'm gonna actually just kind of let my foot be relaxed here in the figure 4 glute stretch so I'm not overworking or forcing a position. But if you feel, strongly about keeping your right foot flex it. That's fine. I feel like everyone in this class today, like, kind of trust your judgment on your body. So you can kind of choose what feels good. Again, of course, never jeopardizing anything for the knee joint. Okay, good. You're welcome to add any movement here, circles, shifting from side to side. And again, just moving in this nice mindful way. Notice what your chest is doing. Okay. Can you release any unnecessary tension in your head, neck, and shoulders, and even in your face? And then from here, we'll slowly release the hands, release the legs, unwind, and we'll switch sides, left ankle over the right. Okay, and then we'll circle the left ankle about 5 times in one direction. And then 5 times in the opposite direction. Good, and on your last one, again, you can relax your foot, interlace your hands around the right hamstring, coming into the figure 4 glute stretch. And again, you don't have to force anything, just let this be, the first hip opener is always like a little tender for me. So let it just be where it is. Any movement is always welcome. Checking back in with your breath, softening your brow, softening your neck and your shoulders. Okay, good. And then unwinding, letting go. Good. Bringing your knees together to your chest. And again, give yourself a nice little hug, rock from side to side. Good. This time we're going to keep the legs together. We're going to let everything fall over to the left. Okay. And then we're just going to open up the arms out nice and wide, out to the sides here. Good. And then just notice the difference in the twist with your legs together versus in that nice little stag. Maybe your focus doesn't go all the way to the right hand. Maybe it stays up towards the sky, or even towards the left hand is fine too. Okay. So just breathe here in your twist. Good. Letting the chest open up. Good. On your next inhale, hold. Exhale, come back to the center, and then again, we'll gently switch sides. Knees into your chest, let your knees fall to the right. Good, and let everything fall to the right, to open your arms out nice and wide to the left. Good. Ooh, this side's a little stiff for me. And again, just breathe. Good, a few more moments here as we're twisting on this right side. Good. Take a nice big deep inhale in. Exhaling, slowly coming back to the center. Good, give yourself a nice big hug again. Good, and then this time we're just gonna rock forward and backwards until we just come up to a seated position. All right, so just sitting with your legs crossed here. Okay, good, sitting up nice and tall. Don't worry about which leg is in front or anything, okay? Just sit up nice and tall, roll your shoulders back just a few times. Good, and already notice like how your chest and your shoulders feel after that twist. Okay. And then we'll start with the crown of the head. We'll start to roll the head and the neck. Oh, just a few times in one direction. Again, don't feel like you need to go fast here. Take your time. Maintain that nice long spine and stay up nice and tall as you begin to circle the head. And then slowly reverse the circle. I always forget how wonderful these small little movements are. They can really change how you feel, like instantly, just by doing a little head roll. Okay, good. Okay, and then from here, okay, let's go ahead and fold forward. Okay, just stretch forward, just softening and rounding your spine. Okay, good. And then while you're folded over here, if it feels okay, I'm gonna take my hands and I'm gonna place them just right behind my neck and my head here, okay? And I'm just gonna start to massage where my neck and my skull meet, okay? So you can use, your thumbs, your fingers, okay? And, just start to kind of give your head a little massage here, just right along the skull, the base of your skull. Give yourself a nice little massage, okay? And of course, if like bending over like this doesn't feel good, you can always bring your elbows on top of, your legs and do it. And you can also do this seated as well too. Okay, so don't feel like you have to stay folded over. Okay. And I'm gonna start to let these little circles, okay, these little massages start to go up the head. Okay, so now I'm just gonna start to work my way up my skull. Okay, little shampoos. Feels really good. And I'm going to slowly start to get to the crown of my head slowly, but take your time. There's no rush. Don't forget behind your ears. Okay. Good. And then you're going to slowly pause for a moment at the crown of your head. Okay. Good. And then you're going to, again, start to work it towards your forehead. Okay, so I'm just going to lift up now, just so you can kind of see where I'm kind of massaging myself here. Good. At my hairline. Okay. At my forehead. Good. Okay. And then go ahead and release your hands and then roll up if you haven't already. Okay, sit up nice and tall. Roll your shoulders back a few times. Good. And then from here, sitting up nice and tall, just bring your right ear to your right shoulder and just pause for a moment. Good. Taking your hands across the left side of your chest to press down to find a little bit of resistance. Okay. And then again, choosing to stay here with your right ear to your right shoulder, or you can start to drop your chin towards your shoulder and then bringing your chin level with the ground. You can move in this way. You can find stillness. Good. Oh, this feels so good. Nice little self-massage, self-care today. Good. All right. Slowly bring your chin back level with the floor, and then you can use your hands to help lift your head up, and we'll just go to the other side. Left ear to left shoulder, sitting up nice and tall. Good. Pausing for a moment. And then hands can come across the right side of your chest. Good. Pressing down, lifting up. And then again, finding some oscillating, some movement here if you'd like. Okay, awesome. Okay, good. Chin back level with the floor, and then again, use your hands to help lift your head up. Awesome. Arms reach out to the sides. Left hand down, right arm up and over. Nice big side body stretch. Good. Right hand is going to bend behind your head. Look up towards your elbow if you can. Good. Take a nice big deep inhale in. Exhale, elbow towards your knee. And then reach right back up. So just do 3 little taps here, just rounding the spine. So it's like a little side cat and cow. Good. One more. Reaching right back up. Nice big side stretch. And then rising back up. Okay, I'm just going to switch the cross of my legs. Okay, just because I'm a crazy lady. Okay, I'm just trying to create a little bit of balance. But again, you do not have to do that. Okay, top hand bends behind the head. Look up towards your elbow. Elbow towards your knee, around your spine. Reaching back up. Just 3 little taps. Connecting your breath to your movement. Awesome. And then rising on up, re-stretching that arm up and over. Good. And then slowly rising back up. Good. From here, we're going to take our right foot. Okay. So this is why we did a little bit of the hip opener before. Yeah. So you can sit however you want to. Okay. You can come into like a little figure 4. Okay. You can sit with your legs, in like a little, pretzel position. Legs can be straight here, but we're just going to massage the right foot. Okay. So I wanted to make sure we got all like our face, face massaging out of the way first before we got to our feet, but we're just going to massage the right foot. Okay. And start with the heel first. Okay. So you're just going to squeeze the heel, and then you'll start to kind of walk and move your hands down your foot towards where the heel and the arch meets. And then we'll just massage into the sole of the foot. Good. Yeah. Okay. And then you'll work your way up to the ball of your foot. Okay. And then into your toes. And then come back, okay, to your heel and squeeze your heel again. Okay. Let's give a nice little squeeze, okay? And then with your hand, doesn't matter, whatever hand, just gently touch the bottom of your foot, okay? Like kind of like a tickle, but not quite, but just so you can feel like a light sensation on your foot. So I'm just kind of going from my heel to my toes, okay? And then I'm going to go from my heel to my big toe, my heel to my second toe. Okay, I'm going to work my way down to each toe so I feel a little bit of sensation. Okay, good. Okay, and then after that last one, another little massage. Okay, getting to the arch of the foot, the sole of the foot. Okay, and as I'm starting to do this, I'm like kind of also like thinking about each metatarsal and kind of imagining that I'm like massaging like the pinky toe from the arch, the ring finger toe from the arch, the middle toe. Okay, so kind of working out any little knots and kinks as much as I can with my hands. I know it's sometimes hard. Okay, good. And then I'm going to get to the ball of the foot, and I'm going to do sort of the same thing. I'm going to think about like I'm massaging my pinky toe from the sole of my foot, or the ball of my foot, excuse me, and then each toe kind of getting in between a little bit as I'm massaging here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then so when we get to the toes, we'll start with the pinky toe first. We'll just give it a little pull and a little wiggle. And then just work down each toe. Just give it a little nice little pull, a little wiggle, a little pull and wiggle, pull and wiggle. And then we'll get to the big toe. Pull and wiggle. Good. And then we're just going to set the right foot down. Okay, so whether your legs are down, just bend your knee, have your foot down. Okay, and then just think about the energy going down from your ankle out through the top of your foot. So I'm just pressing my fingertips down into my foot. Okay, yeah. So just kind of working the top of the foot. So we'll go towards the toes first. And then when you had enough, we'll switch the direction. We'll go from the toes up, and then we kind of even go up the leg a little bit towards our knee and our shin. Good, and then we'll get to the side of the ankle. So we'll still keep moving that motion up. Okay, so we'll get into the ankle bones, side ankle. Okay, moving the energy up our calf. Good, and then we'll get to the Achilles. So again, we'll have the energy going up towards our knees. So start to kind of give yourself a little massage. Again, kind of pulling up here. Good. Okay, awesome. Okay, good. All right, and then from here, we'll just switch sides, okay? So we'll start with the left foot. And again, you can sit any way you need to. I'm gonna start by squeezing the heel. Okay, then we'll just do a little quick run through of massaging the heel and the arch, or the heel and the arch meet. Ooh, this side's always a little bit tighter. We'll start to get into the arch. Good. Good, into the ball of the foot. Good. My hands always get a little tired doing this. We'll get to the toes just to make sure they're awake. Might be a little cold. Okay, good. Then we're gonna slowly do that little tickling, okay? So just kind of just brushing your fingertips along your foot, okay? And I'm like super ticklish, so like this, I'm not making it unpleasant for myself, okay? I'm just making sure I can feel sensation on the bottom of my foot, and then I'm gonna go from heel to big toe, heel to second toe. I'm just gonna make sure I can, start to feel a little bit of sensation through my feet. Good, and that outer edge, don't forget about that. Good, and then we'll go back to that squeezing of the heel. Good, and then into massaging the foot again. Okay. Right, our feet are such a gift to us. We can't take it for granted, even though, those little tickling or those little small sensations. We always want to make sure we're really taking care of our feet. They do so much for us, right? Like, I don't even think about it, right? And my feet like take me everywhere, okay? Good. Okay, good. And then again, as we start to massage the second round, we're thinking a little bit deeper beyond the surface of the skin, right? We're thinking about when we're moving and massaging here, we're massaging in between each metatarsal. Okay, so we're really getting into some knots, maybe just feeling some pathways opening up from the arch of the foot. And then we'll go to the ball mount of the foot and same thing, okay? Like, yeah, we can massage the ball of the foot, but then we can start to think about in between the toes. It's harder to get to. Okay. Good. Okay. Good. And then we'll just take the pinky toe first. We'll just give it a little pull, a little twisty twist, and just working our way down or up to the big toe. Little pull, little twist, little wiggles. Okay. Good. Awesome. Okay, good. And then from there, we'll plant the foot down. And then again, we'll think about the energy moving down towards our foot as we just place the left foot down. Okay, so you just want to think about top of the foot, the toes spreading out. Good. In between each toe. Good. That pressure. Good. Good. And once that you've had a little bit enough of that down motion, we're going to send the energy up. Okay, so I'm just really sliding my fingers up my calf, up my leg, front of my shin mainly. Good. And then we'll get into the sides of the ankle bones, moving the energy up the side of the calf. Good. And then we'll get to the Achilles, the back of the leg, the back of the ankle. Good. Again, moving the energy up towards the knee. Okay, awesome. Okay, good. Good, you guys. Okay, and then we're gonna meet in hands and knees. Okay. Okay, so take your time planting your hands. Toes are gonna be tucked under for this round, okay? So we're gonna arch up, lift up, looking up towards the sky. And then exhaling, rounding your spine. So inhaling, looking up towards the sky. Exhaling, arching your back, rounding your back, taking your time. Okay, so just going in and out of cat and cow. Good, keeping your toes tucked under, a nice long spine. We're gonna shift back like we're going to go into child's pose. Okay, but toes are tucked under. Okay, and then you're just gonna walk your heels back just a little bit so you get a little stretch through, again, the arches, toes, and I'm just doing like, honestly, just like this little march and lifting like one knee up just a little bit, just thinking about pressing and walking my heels back, even though they're not going back. We're just pretending to march in place here to stretch out the feet and the calves. Okay, good. Whew. A little bit of this goes a long way. Okay, so when you're ready, you'll shift forward, lift your hips up towards the sky to come into your first downward facing dog. Okay, good. And let this be, a lot about the calves and the ankles. Okay, I know it's a major hamstring stretch, downward dog is. Okay, so how can you make this a little bit more about the calves and the ankles? You can bend your knees. Okay. You can let your ankles soften a little bit. You can think about, that energy of your toes, right? Like spreading out, going down towards the mat, the Achilles, right? Like that energy going up towards your knees. Good. And then just breathe here. You can always shorten your stance as well, too. If that makes it feel more calf related, less about your arms, that's fine also. But let this be a nice big calf stretch, okay? Okay, good. Inhaling, looking up at your hands, we'll slowly walk to the top of our mat, coming into our first forward fold, okay? And for this forward fold, I just want you to grab the backs of your heels, the backs of your ankles, and then just think about pressing down into your heels. Okay, so you can even use your hands to press into your heels. Good, and shift your weight forward towards the balls of your feet a little bit. And then notice right when you kind of catch yourself, and right when you catch yourself, see if you can reground your heels with your hands. Good, help you feel a little bit more stable. Awesome, release your hands. Look up about halfway. Exhaling, we're gonna fold forward, nice big forward fold. Inhaling, rise up to come all the way up to standing. Take your time. Arms are gonna reach up over your head, and exhaling, hands at your heart center. Good, from here, arms are gonna reach back up over your head. Exhaling, folding forward, nice big forward fold. Again, think about your weight shifting forward towards the balls of your feet here in your forward fold. Okay, good. Use the backs of your hands, use your hands to press into the backs of your feet here, into your heels again, okay? So again, keep shifting that weight forward. I feel this a lot in my calves, and my hamstrings. Good, from here, release your hands. We're going to step the right foot back behind us, coming into low lunge. Okay, take your time. Right foot steps back, back knee bends down. Okay, we're gonna dip the hips, roll the shoulders, lift the chest and the heart, arms reach up over your head when you're ready. Good, just breathe here. Okay, I have my toes tucked under, but that's just because that is what feels better for my knee, but you are more than welcome to point your toes if that feels better, okay? Good, take a few more deep breaths here. Hands are gonna move into the inside of the left leg, okay? From here, this back foot, okay, is going to spin towards the back of the mat or to the left side of the mat. Okay, you're gonna walk your hands around so that your hands are centered and then around closer to your right leg, okay? When I look at my left foot, okay, my left knee is kind of like folding in, okay? I'm gonna walk my hands in to come up to standing on my right knee, okay? Good, and then I'm just gonna kind of realign this left foot so that my toes are facing the top of the mat. Okay, I can walk them forward so I can start to bend into this left knee. So I'm coming into a half warrior two. Okay, so you can see the half here. This leg would be straight, but it's all about the inner thighs. We're getting this nice big stretch in our left inner thigh. Okay, soft focus over the left fingertips. Okay, and this is like our little flow for today. Okay, warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. Good, let's keep a nice big bend in this left knee. Flip your left palm up. We're gonna reach back Exalted warrior. Good, extended side angle, left forearm down, right arm up towards the sky, okay? And then you gotta notice, you can't really go down as far as you're used to, so you really wanna extend that left side. It's just as long as the right. Good, let's do that one more time. Exalted warrior, flip the left palm, reach back. Maybe you touch the back of the mat. Good, and then extended side angle. Maybe you go a little bit further this time. Maybe the left hand lowers behind the knee, behind the foot. Good, or again, you can come up onto your forearm. Nice, everyone. Okay, awesome. Inhale, rise up. Cartwheel your hands as best as you can around that front leg, okay? And this is like not the most pleasant way, but you're just gonna kind of scooch back, and we're gonna scooch back into a half split, okay? So square off as best as you can, and then flex those left toes up towards the sky. I know, scooching's a yoga transition, right? Scooch your way into the next posture. Okay, good. Just breathe here. And again, with the foot flex, you may feel a lot in the calf. I feel today, I'm like feeling it less in the hamstrings and a lot in the calf as well, okay? Then I'm just gonna add a little pointing and flexing, okay? Again, it's like a little bit of oscillating, a little bit of shifting. Again, only if that feels right to you, go for it. Okay, take your time. We're going to bend back into this front leg. We're going to step back, plank pose. Okay, of course, plank your way on your knees, forearms, holding here, feeling the length of your spine. Lower all the way down, a strong push up, coming up into a back bend of your choice, high or low. And then we're going to slowly meet back in downward facing dog. Okay, good. Inhaling, looking up at your hands, gently traveling to the top of your mat, okay? Imagine, again, shifting your weight forward, look up about halfway. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Inhaling to slowly rise up to come all the way up to standing. Take your time, arms reach up over your head. Exhaling, hands at your heart center. Inhaling, arms reach up over your head. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Second side, left leg steps back, low lunge. Drop the knees, up the hips, roll the shoulders, reach your arms up over your head when you're ready. Good, and just breathe. Thinking about that left front of the hip opening up, feeling a nice stretch there. Good. Awesome, good. Hands are gonna lower into the inside of that right leg. Okay, and then here's that transition, okay? So back leg is just going to kind of swivel towards the side of your mat as you walk your hands towards the center. We'll rise up on top of the left knee. Okay, and then we just have to adjust the right leg so it feels best for our body here kneeling. We'll bend into this right knee for warrior two, half warrior two. Okay, Virabhadrasana 2. Arms reach out to the sides, nice soft focus over that right hand, okay? Yeah, there you go. And again, toes can be tugged or pointed, whatever feels good for you here. Right palm flips, exalted warrior, reach that arm up towards the ceiling. Keep a nice big bend in that right knee. Extended side angle, right forearm down, left arm up towards the sky. Breathe. Feeling the inner thighs opening up, feeling the inner thighs working. Good, and then we'll do this one more time. Exalted warrior, maybe your hand touches the back of the mat. Maybe you go a little bit deeper, right hand behind the leg, left arm up and over. Again, whatever feels good for your body here. Good, inhale in, exhale, release. Okay, we're gonna cartwheel those hands around the right leg. And again, we're just gonna kind of scooch our hips back, pivot back around, hamstring stretch on the right leg, toes flex up towards the sky. Whew. That's not a hip opener. I don't know what is. I even felt that on the outside of my glutes as well too. My hips have been so tight lately. Good. Breathe. Go back to that ujjayi breath, that nice full breathing. And then again, if you want to add some pointing and flexing of the front foot, that's awesome. You can do that as well. Okay. Getting into like that ankle mobility, the calf. So we're going to bend back into this front leg to step back plank pose. Here's our second plank. Nice and strong. Again, your version of it is perfect. Lower all the way down. Okay. We're going to come up into our back bend of choice, high or low. Good. And then we're all going to meet in Sphinx pose this time, okay? So just lower down. We'll pop up onto our elbows and forearms. And again, adjust as you need to so that you can really press down into your forearms, okay? Like we're coming into like a forearm balance and we're lifting up through our chest, okay? Abdominals are lifted, even though, you know, they're probably touching the ground. Okay, we just want to find this energy of moving up, okay? We're only going to move the right leg. And of course, if this bothers your back in any way, you can lower down onto your forehead, okay? But we're just going to move the right leg 5 times. We're going to lift and hover the right leg up and lower back down. Lift and hover and lower. Right leg lifts and hover. Here's 3. Lower 2 more. 4 and lower. 5 and rest. And we'll go to the second side, the left side. So left leg lifts and hover. Doesn't have to be high. Don't worry. And lower back down. Lift and hover and lower. Here's 3 and 4. Last one, 5, and relax. Good. Stay up in your Sphinx pose if you can, or again, you can always lower down. We're going to lift and hover both legs up. And again, my legs are apart, okay? And I'm going to lower right back down. We're just going to do that 3 times, okay? Lift and lower for 2. Lower, lift up for 3, and lower. And now we'll slowly rest, hands under the forehead. Good. Let's bend the knees and just do little window wipers here if you've got the space, okay? Awesome. Okay, good. Before we get into our hips here, okay, let's press back up into downward dog. One more time. Okay, good. And then in our downward dog here, we're going to take our right leg. Okay. I'm going to take my big toe and my second toe and I'm going to hook it onto my left heel, okay? And I'm going to use my foot to guide my left heel down. So I'm going to get this nice little weighted action and a little calf stretch on the left foot. Ooh, that feels good. Okay, and then I'll let that release. Plant both feet down. Then I'm going to take the left foot, my big toe, my second toe, we're going to hook behind my right heel, and I'm going to use my left foot to guide my right heel down a little bit more. Doesn't have to touch the ground, right? It's just giving you a nice little stretch here for the calf. Good, and then slowly release, come back into your downward dog. Let's walk our hands in towards our feet. Take your time. Come into that forward fold. Good, and then we're gonna rise on up. And this is where we can grab an extra blanket, a pillow, or you can use your mat. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll up my mat. We're just gonna use the mat just for a little calf stretch, okay? So again, you're welcome to use a towel as well. And I'm gonna use my mat for the calf stretch that's coming next. And then after that, we're gonna come into pigeon pose. I'm also gonna use my mat rolled up for my pigeon pose as well. So again, if you want to, roll a towel out for you to, be on, and then you can use the mat as your prop, okay? So with your mat rolled up, we're just gonna step we're gonna step our heels onto the mat first, okay? So heels are gonna come onto the mat with the balls of the feet down, okay? So I'm like in my little, you know, almost like a little bird, our little drinking bird pose, right? Like our heels are lifted. Feet are hip distance apart. Just gonna bring my hands onto my hips. I'm gonna soften my knees a little bit, fold forward here, okay? And then again, you know, this might be good enough for you here. You may be able to reach down. We're just coming into a nice big forward fold, okay? So this is what, you know, this is a little more dramatic version of it, but you know, your hips can be really back behind your heels, but you want your hips, your sit bones, as best as you can over your heels, okay? And this is, you know, scary, I know, but you know, we got our hands that we can use to kind of press the weight into here. But we want to keep working in this space of always moving forward in our practice. Okay. And no, you know, just kind of recognize if you're hyperextending the knees here, you can soften the knees. And again, really think about those sit bones instead of like shooting towards the back wall, you want them shooting up towards the ceiling. Okay. Woo, it's hard, it's scary. And you also feel like the front of your calves kind of kick in too, right? Like your toes are like, oh, kind of help catch you. Okay, good. From here, I'm just going to bend my knees. I'm going to roll up to come up to standing. Okay, you're always welcome to step off of the mat if that feels better. Plant your feet down for just a moment. Okay, and then we're just going to plant the balls of our feet and our toes on the mat now for the big calf stretch, okay? Or, you know, if your calves are open, it may not feel that big, okay? So we're going to plant the balls of our feet, toes on the mat. And again, you can soften your knees. And when I soften my knees, I actually feel a nice stretch through the backs of my legs better. Again, you're welcome to stay here. This may be a big enough balance for you. You can also just do one foot at a time as well. Okay, we'll fold forward. Again, feet are hip distance apart. I feel right away, right when I start to fold halfway, like my stabilizers kick in. I can feel my ankles kind of moving. So it's nice to move slow here, slow and controlled. Good. And then just hanging out in the forward fold if you can. Any movement is welcome, y'all, okay? You can bend one leg and straighten. You can kind of go back and forth. I don't know about you all, but just keeping my knees bent is like a good enough stretch for me. I know this, you know, I'm making this about the calves, but I also know it's a big hamstring stretch, okay? So please do not think that I'm not feeling this in my hamstrings at all, because I'm feeling it everywhere. I really feel this a lot in my feet too. I've been taking a lot of ballet lately and my feet have been like really overworked. So I think that's why my calves and my ankles are like feeling extra tight. Oh, so generous bent knees is always welcome, okay? That is totally fine. Whew. And in this position, it's a little bit harder to roll up. So definitely feel free to step off of the mat, okay? But again, we'll just slowly roll up to come up to standing. You can practice with this balance if it is okay. Ooh. And then we'll step off of the mat. Good, and again, just stand on your own 2 feet, right? We want to always be grateful for our feet, allowing us to balance, taking us everywhere we need to, allowing us to stand for many hours. Good, okay. And then from here, I'm just going to move right into pigeon pose, okay? So nothing fancy. You are welcome to come through downward dog, but I'm going to use the yoga mat as a prop. It's going to go, if you will, to like line up my hips, okay? So like both my hips are going to be on it, right? But I'm going to be like in pigeon, right? So it's going to stabilize my front of my left hip and the back of my right hip, okay? Again, this is totally optional, okay? So I'm going to start with the right leg. I'm going to come onto my right knee and shin. And then again, the mat's going to support my right sit bone. And then as it's on the right sit bone, it's also in front of my left hip bone, okay? Good. And then from here, you may have to adjust a little bit. It may not be straight, it can be, you know, like diagonal as well, that's fine. And then you can lower down, you can stay upright, whatever feels best here for your pigeon pose. And we're gonna stay for a little bit, okay? I know a lot of Not super flowy work today. I try to add a little bit of flow in just to kind of get our energy moving, but go back to your breath. Okay. In our yoga practice, it's not always about moving. Sometimes it's nice for us to take that time to slow down and get into some stretches a little bit deeper or in a different way. Okay. And I know we're focusing a lot on the hips right now in our pigeon, but can you soften your chest and your shoulders a little bit more? Can you breathe into the back space, the back of your body, just as much as the front? Okay. As you're using, the yoga mat maybe as a prop for this round today, does it feel different? Do you feel constricted? Do you feel more stable? Okay. Okay, I'm going to stay for about 30 more seconds here on the side. Take your time. You're going to start to walk your hands under your shoulders. Lift up. Good. And then we're just going to move to the second side again, however you'd like to move to the second side, okay? You can come back into downward dog. You can just swing your legs around. Okay. Good. Even a little cat-cow action is totally fine. Whew. Okay. And then again, practicing with your yoga mat as your prop. That's great. Okay. You can always use other props as well too. Okay. But left knee and shin down. And again, the mat's going to support my left sit bone. And it's also going to support the front of my hip as well. Okay. Today, I like to share how I'm feeling too, just so you know that you're not alone. I'm feeling a little constricted with the yoga mat. It's not letting me go as far as I want to. And I'm also noticing that I have a tendency to lean to one side. So it's actually the holding me back a little bit is actually helping me kind of square my hips a little bit more. And then I was able to focus on the back leg just as much as the front leg. So, it's also stretching the front of the right hip as well. So, if you're feeling that way too, I'm with you. Okay. I'm there with you. Right. Just kind of, breathe through it. Having, some of these obstacles is not necessarily a bad thing. We don't have to do our pose the same way every single time. It's good for our bodies to adjust and stretch in a different way. Okay. Yeah. So hang in there, breathe deeply, especially if it's not causing, right, any like pain or discomfort, right? Like it's okay if it's just like a little different than you're used to, right? That's always good and challenging for your practice in that way, right? And not the always pain-free, okay? Maybe not mentally, but physically pain-free is really important, okay? We want to challenge our mind to have a little bit of restrictions. Just go back to that Ujjayi breath, softening where you can in your chest and your shoulders, in your face. And about 30 more seconds left on this side. Allowing yourself to enjoy creating space in your body. Enjoy all the work that we did today, that self-care. And we'll slowly start to walk our hands back underneath us. Okay, good. And as you come out of your pigeon pose on this left side, again, move out of it however you like to, okay? But we're gonna meet in a few different places, okay? So if you want to come into a really short Shavasana, you can make your way onto your back, okay? As I'm kind of adjusting out of here, I'm actually going to continue to use my yoga mat as a prop, and I'm going to come up to a seated position, and I'm going to sit on my yoga mat, okay? So I'm going to end my practice seated, but again, you're welcome to lie back down on the ground. You can even use your mat under your knees or anything, okay? But I'm just going to sit on my yoga mat and have my sit bones right on it here. And I'm just going to have my legs in easy pose, sitting up nice and tall, okay? And just take a moment, again, whatever position that you're choosing, okay? Choose to find the length of your body, right, on the ground, finding that space, you know, walking those shoulder blades underneath you, okay, right, rolling the shoulder blades together, opening the chest, feeling the length and heaviness of your body, letting everything realign, recentered, regroup after our practice together, the physical part. And just allow yourself, you know, to check in what's changed, what's staying the same. What's moved, what's shifted. And it can be, you know, physical. It can also be like mentally, right? Like I noticed immediately my mood changed the minute we did head circles today. Okay. Any small things like that, you know, just take note. And allow your breath to move from your chest to the crown of your head, all the way to your fingertips and your toe tips. So let the air, the breath fill you up, finding more space, more length. Take a nice big deep inhale in through your nose. Big exhale out through your mouth. And slowly start to just awaken your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes, shifting your head from side to side. And if you are on your back, you can just take your time to join us up to a seated position. And if you're seated, you can just stay right there. Again, no rush. Again, just kind of moving in a way that feels good to come all the way upright. And we'll all join together with our hands together at our heart center. Press your palms together firmly, just honoring and saluting the essence of yoga within yourself. And may your spirit feel more free. May your heart feel open. May your mind feel all of those connectivities of spirit, freeness, mind, body, soul. And take a nice big deep inhale in through your nose. Big exhale out through your mouth. And slowly just begin to smile in honor of your practice. Namaste.